guys, it's Kelly. I am back with another process video. This is for Stuck Sketches, and I just had the sketch up on the video, and I am going to be using 2 photos for this sketch as opposed to 3. I am using these photos that I took just recently of my son on his first official college visit. Y'all, I can't even put into words. I had to do a layout on it. I know that I had told him I wasn't going to be doing layouts for him, but I told him he needed to deal with it because I was having a hard time dealing with it, and he just kind of laughed at me. So anyway, I am pulling out one of my favorite masculine collections, even though I don't think it's necessarily considered a masculine collection. It is Fancy Free by Paige Evans, and I'm just pulling out some of the darker papers to use on this layout. I had a couple of questions on how I chose or how I go about choosing some colors for my layouts because I don't necessarily match my photos. A lot of times I go with complementary colors. You don't necessarily have to use the same color blue that's in the photo that, pulling out for your papers. Like my son's shirt is kind of like a medium blue, and it actually is about the same color blue that is on the visitor's guide and that is pictured on the other photo. And, you would think, one might think that they need to match that blue perfectly, but you don't. I just pulled out colors that I thought would look well. The green paper obviously complements the grass a little bit. I'm using some darker blues because it complements the paper. You don't always have to match your photo with your papers, even if you're using colored photos. So I don't know if that helps you any. It's just, I will take one color and then try to run with that. So I just swapped out those darker strips of paper because I felt like it was a little bit too dark at that place, and I knew that I wanted to use some darker papers, but I didn't feel like that was the place to do so. So I'm just going through the embellishments for this collection, trying to figure out what I can use, and I pull off these plus signs, but I don't use those, but this arrow I will end up using, and I love the way that the arrow actually works on this page. When I pulled off one of the plus signs, part of the chipboard came off, so I'm just gluing it back together so that all of the arrow or all of the plus signs will be the same dimension off the page. So this is where I'm trying to figure out what this layout needs. The gray paper wasn't working. I didn't like using the different arrows because they were noticeably different, and I knew that I definitely wanted to use this arrow that had the crook in it because it was perfect. The photo is of me holding the visitor's guide in front of one of the main buildings on the University of Maryland campus. So I thought that was pretty cool, and in my journaling, I, make note of which school we're seeing, the couple schools that he wants to go see, although I am pretty sure that he will not be going here, nor the other 2 schools that he really wants to go see. He has some big dreams, and I don't think that he's going to get the money to back those dreams. And, going to an out-of-state public school is quite expensive, and I think he is hoping for scholarship, and if it comes through, that's great, but I have a feeling he's going to experience his first major letdown with this. So I know that I want to border my layout, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it, and I don't like this light blue sheet behind it. I love the pattern, but I don't like it behind this. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly I want to do, but I leave this in because I want you to see some part of my process. So one of the reasons why I didn't like it was because there is like a ombre effect of the triangles going down the page. So at the top and at the bottom, it's markedly different, as you can see on the side. And that was bothering me. So I'm looking at it, trying to see if I can get past it. And I don't think I can, but I want to go ahead and trim down my sheet and of my cardstock and really look at it to see how much it's going to bother me. And right away, I realize that it's too much. So I'm flipping over my papers, just trying to see if I can find something else that I like, and I'm not liking it. But what I do like is this dark navy blue, but I don't have enough of it to back my layout with. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut 4 strips, and I will adhere those to another piece of cardstock, and I am going to just adhere them, and that is going to be my fake background. And I love the way that this works. So this is just to show you that if you have something that has somewhat of an abstract background like this, that you can make it appear to be a background page. Now, if you look closely at the layout, you can see where I've done this, but most people aren't going to even notice, and it served its purpose for me, and it made something that I already had in my stash work. So I like the way that this came out. And I just wanted to show this to you in case you are ever in that same situation, to try not to let yourself be limited by what you don't have and figure out a way to make what you do have work for you. So this is exactly what I had in mind without knowing what I wanted. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was very happy with the way that it looked on that dark, with the dark background framing it. So the sketch calls for a circular element, and I had debated whether or not I wanted to stitch around just like the sketch called for, but in the end, I'm not going to say that I took the lazy way out. I decided to use a doily. And while it is a little bit more delicate and it can be a little bit more girly, I still love the texture that it gives. And I don't think that he's going to look back at these layouts in 10 years and be like, why did you use a lace doily on the page? I think he's going to be more appreciative of the journaling and of the fact that I did capture these moments. So that's what I'm going with. That's what's, in my head. So I've got these embellishments from Freckled Fawn that I pulled out, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So I ended up turning off the camera just so that I could get some things put on my desk that I knew I wanted to use. And in my scraps with this collection, I had this kind of like chartreuse green flag that I had cut from it for a different layout, and I thought, well, this is perfect. I will use that. And I had gone ahead and pulled out my title so that I would have an idea of what else I wanted to use embellishment-wise. So my title is going to be It Is Getting Real. The It is a little bit difficult to see. I pulled out these old Studio Calico alphas that I had. I think it's supposed to be a yellow, but it's kind of a cross between a yellow and a chartreuse. And I'm going to put that on the banner so that it actually has a space to live and that you can actually see it a little bit better. And the Getting Real are some Amy Tangerine thickers that I've had in my stash for a while. So I'm just pulling out the dots on the eyes. I did not do that when I initially pulled off the letters because those little boogers get lost, and I wanted to know that I knew where they were. So I am using my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive to glue those down. The name has changed on this Quick Dry. I can't think of what it is at the moment. If you do have a question, you can leave it in the comments and I will look it up for you. But I do like my fine line bottle for delivering a small amount of glue to just where I want it. So for the Getting Real, I went ahead and I placed the real part of the title down first with the L all the way to the end of that blue pattern paper, and then I started on the other end with the Getting so that my title would be appropriately spaced between the two. And these chipboard word phrases are from Freckled Fawn, and they are awesome. Oh my gosh, I just can't even tell you how much I love these. The phrases that I'm using are say what, I can't believe this, I can't even, and another one that I pull out says just the beginning. How perfect are these for a page like this? I love real phrase stickers, and there's only so many of the best days that you can actually use, because, you know, in reality, this was not the best day, not for me at least, but these phrase stickers just made it perfect for me. So for my final touches, I am going to add some enamel dots. I had these old Studio Calico stars that I thought I was going to use, but I just didn't like them, and I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. I just decided to pull out enamel dots and use those instead. And for me, as long as I'm using my stash, it doesn't really matter what I'm using, as long as I'm using something. So I wasn't upset that I couldn't get those Studio Calico stars to work. I just decided to go to enamel dots. So in my close-ups, you will see that I have actually moved the enamel dots down by the title. It just was a little bit too tight. I didn't like it. It looked a little bit too contrived. You know, for me, sometimes I have to walk away from my layouts and look at them, and you know, a few hours later or another day later to realize that something's just not quite right. And all it took was me just moving the enamel dots down underneath the title, and it just seemed to have a better balance. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to link the Stuck Sketch blogspot. Be sure and check them out to see what the other design team members have created with this sketch, and we'd love for you to play along. We have prizes that can be won just by linking up your layout. So that's it for me today. Thank you again, and I will see you real soon. Take care. Bye.